We are live, and I'm very excited to be here. And I'm hoping everything is going to stroll a lot better than it did the first time around. So, those of you who are here with me, I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself, and then I'm going to make sure I'm streaming where I need to be streaming. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Clone. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness and Why. I'm your certified holistic personal trainer, holistic integrated teacher, Reiki master, medical astrologer, master of numerology, card creator, and card reader. Super excited to be here with you today. So if you are watching with me at this very moment, do me a favor and share this out. Just as I'm about to, I'm going to make sure I am streaming where I need to be streaming. We are currently streaming on YouTube, Twitter, known as X, and Facebook. So if you're on any of those channels, please do me a favor and say hi. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And let's get this story going. Really happy to be here. It feels like a lifetime since I was here. So here we are. We are streaming live on Facebook. Just gonna send this out to my different platforms so everyone gets to participate, gets to enjoy. And let's see what else we have going on. I think that's it for now. Alrighty. I'm just going to tag a few people just to get some people here with me, and whoever shows up, shows up. So let's get this party started. We have a lot going on. Happy spring equinox. Today's the very first day of spring. Today is also the very first day of Aries season, which means currently we have, oh wow, we have Aries, we have the sun, we have Venus and Mercury all sitting in Aries right now. In addition, let's not forget we have Chiron in Aries as well. So that, what does that make? 4 planets sitting in Aries energy. Anytime we have that many planets sitting in one zodiac sign, it makes for a lot of energy. And considering this energy happens to be fire, well, there's 2 ways this energy can take you. One way is that it gives you a lot of energy to get things done. Where when we talk about Aries energy, the vibration of Aries is about being the leader, being the boss, being assertive, being one to make really good decisions and quick decisions. And on the other side of that road, it could be that you're trying to get a lot done, maybe trying to multitask and finding yourself not being able to get anything done, because usually when you're multitasking, you're not putting 100% of effort into anything, so nothing really gets done. You may also show up as though you're, as I like to refer to it, having a little ADHD symptoms going on because there's just too much happening for us. In addition to all of these planets being in Aries energy, let's not forget that today, tomorrow, and also Saturday, if you happen to be watching this on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we do have the moon sitting in Sagittarius. Now, another fire sign as well. So when we think about it, that is what, 5 planets sitting in fire energy. So let's talk about this energy we have going on. As we already know, the sun's energy is all about what we're here to become. So it's amplifying your ability to transition and transform into the best version of who you are. I like to believe we're already that best version of who we are. And what it is now is to bring your vibration up to match that, so you can live out your soul's calling to why you were born. And if you're not familiar with what your soul's calling is, you have no idea what your soul's calling is, this could be a really great opportunity with all this energy sitting in Aries, where you may get some clarification to what your soul's work is. Now, in addition to what Aries means, when we speak about Mercury and Venus both being in retrograde, both of those planets are going to be in retrograde, in Aries in retrograde, right until the 27th, and then one of the planets will backspin into Pisces, and then on the 29th, the next one will follow. Now, which planets are those exactly? Let me make sure I have it in the right order. So we think about the 27th, we will have Venus begin its backspin into Pisces, and then on the 29th, we will have Mercury backspin into Pisces. So just between today, which is the 20th, right until about the 27th. So it's just about 6 days, shall we say, where we have both Venus and Mercury retrograde in Aries. Venus is about your relationships. So you may be in this review of your relationships. Now, originally I was going to come and speak on this topic 2 days ago when we were literally in Pisces season. And it's so interesting that when we literally move out of one zodiac sign and move into a different zodiac sign, it really changes the energy of things. Because when we think about it, wherever you do have Pisces and then Aries on your natal chart, changes the energy of the theme for you. So, for example, because I have Pisces in my ninth house, and now the sun is transiting Aries, the sun is now transiting over my 10th house. So this is really about my reputation. This is about who I am and how I want people to see me and how important that is. And just saying that is so interesting. I had an interesting experience, which I've had over the last couple of days since working with my magazine and doing all of the final touches to launch out the April issue. For those of you who do not know that I have launched my first magazine, it's called Holistic Healing. And if you are interested in getting a digital or printed copy, I will go ahead at the end of the show, type in that link so you can do just that. So anyway, when we talk about this energy of Venus in Aries, it really is about a review of your I am statement. And wherever you have Venus on your chart, whatever house Venus is in, that's going to be highlighted as well. I always like to remind you that wherever the planets are collectively and where it is sitting on your personal chart, that is where it's actually transiting. So whatever house is transiting for you is the house where the theme is taking place. So for me, I have Venus in my Pisces placement in my ninth house. So with Venus being in Aries, it's highlighting that ninth house energy, which is about my higher consciousness. It's about my higher awareness. It's about my dream state. It's also about traveling. And when Venus backspins back into Pisces, that's going to be highlighted again. So in 6 days from now, that's what's going to be highlighted for me. But here we are right here, right now, in the moment of Aries season. And Venus being in Aries, my big question to you is, where do you have Venus on your chart and what house is Aries in for you? Because this is your review. This is your review. So for me, I have, again, Aries in my 10th house. So I am reviewing my leadership role. I am reviewing how I want to be seen in the public eye. I am reviewing my professionalism. I am reviewing how important it is for me that I may get those 5-star reviews, or I may not get those 5-star reviews, because again, the one thing we're going to understand, and if we don't understand, we're going to learn it, is to know that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and you're not going to be able to satisfy everybody. No matter how much you try, how much work you put into it, it just may not happen. Because again, everyone, depending on where they have Aries on their chart, and how amplified that energy is for them, they may have subconscious work to work through, old habits and beliefs that they may have to break through in order for their work to get done. So I also want to speak a little bit about Chiron before I move into Mercury. When we speak about the Chiron energy currently in Aries, so any of you who do have your Chiron, which is the wounded healer, in Aries, and with both Venus and Mercury being in retrograde, you may also be viewing your wounds regarding who are you? And do you feel, as an Aries Chiron wound, you may have energy that shows up of not either doing enough, having to constantly prove yourself, looking for that recognition. You may be reviewing your credentials, for that matter. That's that Aries Chiron wound energy. And because we are in Venus Mercury retrograde, and Venus is about the relationship, so that could be something that's being highlighted for you. There's lessons there to learn. So we also talk about that Venus Aries energy. Venus, not just about your relationships, but it's also about your physical material possessions. What is it that you are possessive over? What are you holding on to, whether it's physical or material? And maybe it might be time to review it and release it. In addition to, Venus is also about your physical body. So what's showing up in your physical body? Are there symptoms showing up in your physical body? And if so, do note that with all this energy we just recently had with the sun transiting into Aries and the seasons changing from winter into spring on the East Coast, that creates a lot of energetic shifts in our system, our chakra system for that matter, which may mean you may be feeling some symptoms showing up. You may have what I like to call spiritual flu symptoms that are not necessarily anything to be worried about. It's just your body recalibrating. And if you are experiencing a spiritual flu, just allow yourself to rest, because that's what your body needs right now, is that rest. You want to make sure you're getting plenty of fluids, your water, your electric lights, and making sure you are moving your body as well, because that will help jolt the energy that may be a little stagnant at this point in time. In addition to that, physical symptoms with this Venus energy, it's also a connection with your money, because Venus is about our money, how we invest our money, how we spend our money, how we feel about money. What is your relationship with money? Do you have a relationship with money where when you speak of it, you get nervous, you get annoyed, you get frustrated? Or is your energy, with your relationship with money, freedom and excitement, and just knowing that money is just a source of energy? And the more you invest in your money, the more you the more your money is going to flow. So think of it in that aspect when we speak about Venus in retrograde in Aries. Now let's turn our attention over to Mercury retrograde in Aries. When we speak of Mercury, Mercury is about your experience, how you communicate, what you're learning through this retrograde. Now, just because the sun entered Aries today, Mercury has been in Aries a little while now. And you might have noticed some different things going on with you. What are you experiencing in this vibration of Aries? This, I believe, is where we're going to experience the clarification. So much clarity is going to come through as we move out of March and move into Aries, and then move into move into April, and then move into May. This is actually, these next 2 or 3 months are really the months that we have been waiting for since we've moved into 2025, where so many of us have felt like we've been sort of on a cliffhanger, where we're not quite sure what it is we're supposed to be doing. In fact, I've done so many readings over the last couple of months since the new year, and the one thing that was so common for all the people I've read for is most of them were like, I'm feeling like I'm in between worlds, not really sure if I'm going to be continuing in regards to the direction I'm going in with my career. It feels like there's a shift happening. And if that is you, you're exactly on track, because that's exactly what's actually happening, where your actual soul's purpose is going to expand. Remember, we do have the planet Jupiter in Gemini right now, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury's energy. So it is the expansion of how you're experiencing. It is the I said that backwards. It is the experience of how you're expanding. That was interesting on how that was all backwards. So paying attention to these energies we have coming through, and what are you experiencing? What are you experiencing right now? And remember, when we talk retrograde energy, we are talking a review. We are talking a revisit. We are talking a recharge. We are talking a reboot. And we're also talking about a release. We are releasing energies from both Venus and Mercury as we are now sitting in this Aries vibration. So anything that's not aligned with your I am statement, because that's what Aries really is, it's about your I am. Who are you? What are you here to do? What legacy do you want to leave behind? That is what you're here to actually accomplish on this journey. Now, I know for me, if you've been following me since, let's say, 2022, and even prior, even like during the pandemic, which we go back to 2020, so that's almost 5 years. In a 5-year period, my entire life, my career, where I serve my clients has all changed in regards to not just my business, but even where I live has all changed in a matter of 5 years. So there's a huge transition happening, not just for me, but for you as well. And there might have been a lot of contemplation. Like for me, when I made that final decision in 2020 to downsize my space in reference to closing my storefront and taking my business into a virtual setting, that was almost like, I'm going to say, a 4 year in the making. That was not something that just suddenly happened from the pandemic. The pandemic was just basically the gateway that really showed me the direction that I was moving into. And that plays a big role because we have to pay attention to when we start to get the clarity. When does it start to come in, and when do you start to think about something, and then that's a ripple effect to what's going to be? Because again, you are the creator, so it comes from your thought. So if whatever's going on in your life right now seems a little unsteady, a little uneasy, and maybe a little confusing, perhaps you might want to sit back and think about what it is you've been thinking about, maybe having internal conversations and maybe even speaking out loud to what changes you were looking for. And here right now, as we are, you may start to see the ripple effects of those conversations that you had, just like I had over the last 5 years, where again, closing my storefront, where I was seeing clients on site, face to face, and moving into a virtual environment where I'm now seeing clients. Pretty much about 70% of my clients are virtual, and I see a small amount of clients face to face. And just moving into this vibration of no longer having an overhead and no longer being really responsible for the big business decisions. Now it's just really about, I get to be in financial freedom. I get to enjoy. I get to step into other opportunities and step onto other platforms because I have this financial freedom at this time of my life, which has led me to this point. So again, over that 5 year period for me, there was a lot of questioning in regards to who was I? And I'm sure most of you were experiencing that as well during the pandemic. You were asking, who am I? What am I here to do? Who am I here to serve? And you're still in that space of who am I and what am I here to do and how am I here to serve? And you're going to get more and more clearer and more clarity to that question. So keep asking it as we move from, let's say, March into April into May. Now, when we talk about this energy that we do have in Aries season, we talk about both Venus and Mercury both being retrograde in Aries, and then there's going to be a backspin where both Venus and Mercury will backspin into Pisces. Again, that evolution, that final time where both Venus and Mercury will be in Pisces, that final time. And then after that, they're going to move out of Pisces and begin this transition in Aries and stay there. And then from that point, continue its astrological cycle. The other thing I also want to point out to you when we talk about this energy where the sun now is in Aries, we literally, besides starting a new season today, we started a whole new astrological year. Because Pisces is the ending of the astrological cycle and Aries is the beginning. So today we start an astrological new year with the sun, even though Venus and Mercury will be back spinning into Pisces for its final time, the sun itself continues to move forward because both the sun and the moon do not retrograde. Thank goodness. So this astrological new year, in addition to the sun entering Aries, by the time we get to the end of this month on March 30th, which I've been talking about this for quite some time. So if you've been following me, you already are familiar with this. So understanding that as of March 30th, we have another outer planet, Neptune, the planet of spiritual evolution. It is about your higher consciousness. It's about how you're going to be traveling in a different way. It's about what you're going to be learning, and it's also about your deepest secrets. Now, Neptune, interesting enough, is the ruler of Pisces energy. And It's been in Pisces energy for the last 14 years. And as of March 30th, Neptune will move into Aries for the next 14 years. This is a big shift. So again, as I said earlier, wherever you have Pisces and Aries on your chart, whatever houses they're in, Neptune has been transiting your Pisces placement for the last 14 years and is about ready to move into your Aries placement, which is going to highlight, again, your I am statement. So asking, where is your Aries placement? For me, that's highlighting my 10th house. That is my MC. It's my career. It's who I am. And I truly believe, as I'm hearing it now, that over the last 5 years, this has been preparing me for this Neptune Aries energy that we're going to be in for 14 years. Now, if you do the math, 14 years, whatever age you are right now, 14 years from then, for me, that's going to put me at 65 years old. 65? No, excuse me, 69 years old. So for me, that's going to put me at 69 years old after Neptune transits out of Aries. So that's a whole different generation at that point in time, right? So this is big energy. And then in addition of Neptune transiting into Aries on March 30th, where again, we're going to have this big shift going on in our world because this is an external energy. This is an outer planet. This is an energy that the entire world feels. Like, for example, when we speak of Venus, Mercury, and Mars, those are your closer planets. Those are your planets that move, transit more frequently, whereas the outer planets transit, it takes them a little longer to move through. So when we speak about Saturn, that as of May 25th, Saturn will be making its shift out of Pisces and moving into Aries as well. However, Saturn only stays in the zodiac sign for 2.5 years. It's a shorter period of time. However, because Saturn is about your structure, it's about your foundation, and it's about a karmic reset. Once Saturn enters Aries in May, that's where you're going to see that karmic reset happening regarding your I am statement. So this is big energies that we are really experiencing at this point in time. And how do we use it? How do we play with it? So what I want to do just for a moment is I'm going to put that aside. I want to bring your attention to some numbers. Because again, when we talk about today's number, today's date for that matter, a very powerful date. And I like us to write the numbers down. So we have March, which is the 3rd month. It's the 20th day, 2025. So when we talk about the number 2020, it's a mirror energy because both numbers mirror each other. Mirror energy is a reminder that there's something reflecting back at you. So what experiences did you have today? And if you happen to be watching this on maybe the 21st or the 22nd or even the 30th or even further out, you can come back and review what experiences did you have today in regards to what was a reflection. What was either teaching you something or helping you to recognize what you've accomplished up until this point? Because again, on this first day of spring, first day of Aries season, this is about a new beginning. Because Aries represents your first house, and spring represents blossoms and growth. Because we're going to start to see the flowers growing. So this is a time for growth. And our 2020 energy for the date, when we talk about those double twos, two is very much associated with your relationships. It's the 2nd house. The 2nd house is very much associated with our Venus placement. So there is a lot of connections with relationships right now, and what is the reflections that's taking place for us. Now, the overall number of the day where we have 3 twos taking place, this is a powerful energy reminding you to keep your faith in regards to whatever's supposed to be will be. And sometimes we do run into some challenges, some obstacles, and sometimes we might feel like we're going to just give up. And sometimes we're willing to persevere through things and get it done. So it really depends on your energy and what you're willing to do. Now, the overall energy for today, when you add all those numbers up, is 14, which is a 5. And 5 is a reminder that this is a day of change, as it is. The seasons change, our zodiac signs changed, and we're in this momentum of reviewing and where we're going with this. So just allow yourself this opportunity to explore and become curious and start to wonder how you're going to utilize your Venus energy of beauty, relationships, love, strength, even, and the power that you have with money. You know, allowing that money just to simply flow so you can expand and experiencing it, allowing yourself to communicate, allowing yourself to be open to learning something about yourself. Because again, going back to that mirror reflection, every person teaches you something about you. You may not like what's reflecting back at you, but that doesn't mean it's not a lesson. So allow yourself to experience whatever it is that's reflecting back at you and take a moment to really appreciate it and learn something from it, because that's really that Mercury energy, learning and teaching and experiencing and speaking it. Speaking it through the process of bringing it into your reality. Using your power of this Aries energy, this fire from within. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the fire from within and lighting the fire from within, because again, this is powerful energy that you want to really use going forward during this Aries season, and especially when we experience that this moment of time with all this energy sitting in fire, where what is lighting you up? What is getting you excited? What is helping you to feel your desires? Because you want to do more of that through the season. And like I said, you have basically 6 days where you have Mercury and Venus retrograde in Aries before it backspins into Pisces. And then the energy is going to change a little bit. So we want to pay attention to that process. And when we think of this overall energy and where all the other planets are and how this is playing in, just trying to think in my head the connections of each. I would say right now the big players are really about Aries and Pisces, dancing that back and forth between Venus and Mercury, and also the process of this Neptune energy and how that's playing a big role, because it's a 14-year cycle that's coming to an end and starting up something brand new. And of course, we have Saturn that's going to be doing the same thing. So both Neptune and Saturn are big players, because when we think about planets that are literally shifting into a different zodiac sign, it's very rare that we get multiple planets shifting into a same zodiac sign as we have this right now. I mean, I'm not even sure. I have not done any research to support my next statement, to say that I'm not really sure when was the last time we've had 2 planets or multiple planets moving into the same zodiac sign. But I do know for sure that this is the first time we're experiencing both Neptune and Saturn that's moving into Aries and starting a whole new astrological year in a very long time. Because Neptune, again, spends 14 years in one zodiac sign. So that's 168 years before Neptune will be back in Neptune will be back in Aries energy after it's finished its cycle. And 168 years from now, I don't think most of us are going to be here. We may have generations going forward that are here, but we will not be here. So this is pretty big. Now, in theory, of course, we'll be here to experience Neptune and other zodiac signs, because again, 14 years, I mean, theoretically, we probably have a good 30 years. I mean, I know that I probably have a good 56 years to go. So that's going to give me at least another experience with Neptune and Taurus, and then Neptune in Gemini, maybe, and maybe possibly Neptune in Cancer. Who knows? But idea, we're here, we're right now, let's stay in the moment, right? You know how my mind goes. So I just want to take a moment just to say hello to everybody who's popping in on Facebook. And just again, just to remind you, if you have not shared out the show, please do. All you got to do is hit that little arrow on the bottom of your Facebook page, and it will plug in where you can send to groups. You can invite your friends to come in. Please do that. If you are watching from YouTube or Twitter, just say hi to me there, and of course I'll see that later. And yeah, really super excited that you're all here with me this evening. And like I said, I was planning to be here 2 nights ago, but the energy, with all that Pisces energy, where it's so interesting. I was so looking forward to all of this Pisces energy with my son in Pisces. So this was Pisces season is definitely my season because it's my birthday month. With Venus in Pisces at the time, and then of course my North Node in Pisces, and we have collectively the North Node in Pisces. There's a lot of energy going on in my chart, and I was expecting the energy to be more uplifting and exciting and energizing, although I had the opposite effect. It was really, not going to use the word draining, but yes, I was a little more tired than usual, which is why I had to reschedule this live twice, because I was just really too tired to come up and share insight, and I needed to honor my physical body at this point in time. So I'm here tonight, and I'm super excited to know that each and every one of you are here as well. So I'm going to pull a card to sort of close off our live for this evening, and just kind of curious to see how this season is going to go, as again, where we do have multiple planets still sitting in Pisces. As mentioned, we have the North Node, Neptune up until the 30th of March. We have Saturn up until May. Where else? And then at the end of the month, we will have both Venus and Mercury sitting in Pisces. So between that dance between Pisces and Aries, there's a lot going on between our intuition and our I am statement. And that's really narrowing it down when we think about those two signs in itself. Pisces is about your intuition. Pisces is about your dream state, your imagination. It's about your fantasies. It's about being able to tap into your intuition because you are a spiritual being. You're sensitive, you're intuitive. And with all that energy we do have in Pisces, especially with the North Node in Pisces, this is your time now really to tap into your intuition. And perhaps one of the reasons why you're looking for that clarity regarding your soul's work is because it's supposed to be more of an intuitive approach versus a logistic approach. Now, if you're not understanding that term, let me just explain that a bit. When we talk about an intuitive approach versus a logistic. Logistics means it's logical. Logic means that you could theoretically Google something and there's going to be evidence-based research to support whatever it is. Intuitive, well, it's not evidence-based because it's based on intuition. It's what I believe to be true. Now, I could turn around and write an article about it, and then you can research it, and there'll be it there based on my experience. Now, if more and more people did that and worked more from their intuition versus the logistics, as we should, theoretically, because we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings where we're supposed to feel into everything as opposed to things being so logical. Whereas when we really think about it, and this is going to sound silly, but if you say 1 + 1 = 2, in theory, that may not be true. Because 1 + 1, if you take that plus sign out, you have 11. And 11 is that reminder that you have two ones standing together, reminding you that you are a leader and you are independent. And when you bring those two numbers together, you are a master. Now, that is the intuition that comes through with that energy. Now, of course, if you go logistics of it all, the mathematical road with it, 1 + 1 is 2. That's obvious. We know that. 1 and 1 is 2. And so right, because it really is the connection that you do have with being the leader that you are. And you get to decide with this season of Aries, you get to decide, are you going to be a leader? Or are you going to follow the norm? Are you going to follow the general protocols? Are you going to follow the systems, or you're gonna break all the rules and maybe march in my parade of being the disruptor, as I've been recently titled and labeled as a disruptor. I disrupt my industry. I disrupt my industry with my non-conventional approach regarding how I teach. I have a revolutionary way of teaching regarding health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness. And that approach is all about my I am statement, because I want to help you become more of a leader. I want to help you become more intuitive. I want to help you break all the barriers, release all of your subconscious beliefs that you have been programmed and conditioned to believe since you're yay high. I want to help you let go of that. I want to help you release the issues from your tissues so you can release the emotional weight and truly begin to fall in love with you and take the mask off and allow yourself to show up just as you are with true transparency, being authentic. And the only way you can step into this process is allowing yourself to truly be who you are. Be the leader. Be the leader. Lead from your intuition. Allow your intuition to guide you on whether or not this is something that you are meant to be doing. When something you're meant to be doing, it happens. It's easy. It's easy. It's not a process. When you're doing something that's sort of out of alignment, then it may be a little bit of a challenge. But do not confuse the challenge with, sometimes a challenge means there's spiritual growth coming through, and sometimes you have to push through that to get to the next level of where you're going. So again, the big message here when we talk about this energy as intuitive versus logistics is, do you want to be a leader? Or do you want to continue following and being a puppet? Listening to the different things people are saying and just allow it just to be? Or do you really want to think for yourself? I know for me, I've always wanted to think for myself. And I'm so proud to hold the name, the title as the disruptor and the revolutionizer. I'm so proud to bring a different view to things, to help you see things in a different way. My purpose is to help you open your third eye so you can see beyond what's in front of you. Yeah, you see a hand, but then along with the hand, all the little symbols that's in your hand. It's really interesting. Most recently on Facebook, actually on TikTok, there's been a lot of posts about the letter M that shows up in the hand. Now, I'm sure you can see that. I'm trying to keep it close enough that you can see that I have the letter M written in my hand. And I also have the letter M written in this hand too. And there's so many different lines that we have in our hands, and every line means something. So if you become curious enough to know what they actually mean, you'll start to recognize on how, here's the word I'm hearing, how witchy you really are. And the more you allow yourself to step into that role of being the witch that you came here to be, and when I use the word witch, it means that you have superpowers. It means that you have the ability to expand whatever it is you want to expand. It also means you have the magic within you to literally magically create what you want to create. There's no limitations. There's no limitations. Whatever it is you want, you already have. And when you start to see it in that way, that whatever it is you desire, you already have, it's in your agreements. Now the idea of it is to be the leader, to allow yourself to fulfill those agreements. And in order to be the leader means you got to be the leader. You got to be willing to step out of the line, step all the way to the front, and lead your tribe. And hold space and even shine your light bright enough so those who are also leaders can see their leadership role. That's this Aries vibration I truly believe we are moving into. You are here to shine your light so that the other people who may be dimming theirs or may not have found theirs yet can brighten their light up or just turn their light on. And that's what we're here to do. So again, that I am statement, that Aries energy of being the leader, tapping into your intuition, moving more into your intuitive side of the brain and not so much your logistic side of the brain, allowing yourself to balance out your wisdom and your ego, and learning the difference between the two. That is the energy we move into as we're in Aries season. Aries season is a very powerful time because it is literally the start of the astrological new year. There's been so much talk about when does New Year's really start? Does New Year start on January 1st? Does New Year start when with the Lunar New Year? Or does New Year start during the time of Aries season? You get to decide. I'm not going to decide for you. It's really up to you. I like to celebrate all of it. In addition to what else is a new year for you is your birthday. So whenever your birthday is, that's also your new year. It's your rebirth. It's your solar return. And your solar return is a brand new energy for you. And it's so important now more than ever that you really start to understand who you are and what your makeup is based on astrology and numerology, because you are a spiritual being having multitudes of human experiences. Yet if you're only living on the linear level and you're only working through your logical brain and you're never allowing yourself to really tap into your intuition, you'll never get to experience the fact that you are a spiritual being. And it's time to allow yourself to explore, start to wonder, start to get curious of who you really are, and allowing yourself to use your magic, use your superpower. We all have it. We all have our superpowers. We all have magic to play in. We all have magic dust that wherever we go, we can sprinkle a little bit around. Every one of us are a leader. And in every season, we're going to get to experience it. So get excited. Light the fire within you. Allow that fire to shine. Allow that fire to be bright. When we speak of the fire energy of lighting the fire with us from the roots up, we think about our sacral chakra. And we also think about the root energy, because the root energy is literally the base that connects us to the earth star, and the vibration of Mother Gaia. And as we tap into that energy and light the fire within the sacral energy, it gives us this ability to really allow ourselves to be more creative. Now, of course, if you're a woman in midlife, your quote unquote abilities to creating a child, that ship has sailed. However, your ability to be a creator and creating the biggest gifts of your life, that is what's being lit up. The big question is, do you have the confidence and the desire and the drive to make it happen? Allow yourself to step into that fire and step into that confidence. Be the leader you're here to be. Use this powerful energy, Aries energy, to tap in. And as we light the fire from the root to the sacral, we move up to the solar plex energy where your willpower is. This is your gut intuition. Now, we speak on Aries energy. There's two body parts I want you to pay attention to during the season that Aries is very much associated with. And the one is your stomach, which is your intuition. So pay attention to your belly. Pay attention to your digestive system. Pay attention to whether you're feeling a little bloated than usual. Pay attention to your gut knowing. Now, again, when I use the word digestion, it could be digesting food, and it could also be about how you're digesting your life, your situation, your circumstances. This is about the awareness. This is about your intuition. And the other body part is the head. Is the head. We'll talk about that in a bit as we move up. So as we tap into the solar plex, tapping into your superpower, allowing yourself to trust this journey, allowing yourself to trust that you're here to be a leader. You're here to be an entrepreneur. You're here to be the boss. You're here to be in charge. You're here to help others become the boss. It's your job. And with the help of Venus and Mercury's retrograde, this is helping you to release what you no longer need. And that could be your 9-to-5 job. Allow yourself to trust your agreement and open up that agreement. As we move up into the next chakra, the fourth chakra, which is the heart center, allow yourself to experience this joy of Aries season. The fire within. The fire within. Fire, fire, fire. Feel that heat as it strolls up. Now, I do want to remind you for my midlife women, because we do have a lot of fire going on right now with all this energy between Aries and also, of course, the moon right now sitting in Sagittarius. You may start to feel the hotness in your body. Your body temperature may start to rise. That does not mean you're having a menopausal hot flash. It just means that your body temperature is rising due to all this fire energy within us. because we have the fire within us from all this energy, our planets. Remember, we have the sun in Aries, Mercury and Venus right now in Aries. We have Chiron in Aries. So there's a lot of Aries energy taking place right now. And that's lighting up the energy within you. And let's not forget that Mars is the ruler of Aries as well, and Mars is also a fire sign. So paying attention to that fire, and yes, paying attention to where that heat is showing up from. So no, you're not having a menopausal experience. You're having what I like to call a spiritual, or better yet, a revolutionized menopausal portal experience. And that's really what it's all about. So seeing it as that, when we light up these four chakras, moving up into the throat energy where you get to experience, you get to speak it out. What is your deepest desire? Speak it out. Write it out. Play it out. Take action, and before you know it, becomes your reality. And we move that energy up to the third eye, moving closer into the head. Third eye gives you that ability to see those chakras. See yourself as the leader. As you are the leader, shine that fire out. The light from that fire is meant to be expanded. That light from that fire is meant to grow. That light from that fire is supposed to heat you up and get you excited. Get excited, get excited, get excited. As we move into the crown, which is what I said, the head, another part of the body part associated with Aries, where you may very well find yourself, if you do have a heavy energy of Aries, sun, moon, or ascending, or you have a lot of placements in your first house, or a lot of placements sitting in Aries energy, you may very well experience that energy of showing up as a headache, migraines, sinus tension. All that's related to your crown expanding. That's all it is. It's an expansion that's happening. It's what I like to call a spiritual calibration. Through our 7 chakras, we are growing and expanding and allowing yourself to experience this. This is a beautiful time that we're in right now, a beautiful Aries season. I'm wishing all of you who are celebrating Aries birthdays a happy birthday. And again, we're going to pull that card and come to a conclusion. What do we need to know for this Aries season with all the energy that sits in Aries, and also all the energy that's still in Pisces, because the dance between Pisces and Aries, remembering Pisces is the last zodiac sign, so there's an ending happening. And Aries is the first zodiac sign, so there's a new beginning happening. So we have to end something in order to get a new beginning. It only works that way. You'll never have a new beginning if you don't close the book to start the new one. If you're afraid of changes, then this is going to be a challenging season for you, because change is something that happens every single day. Be open to it, trust it, and know that it's taking you someplace. Our card for the day. I love the card for the day. Totally appropriate for our message. Let me make sure you can see it. Beep, beep, beep. Right there you go. There you go. Powerful is the message, which is so what you are. When we talk about the intuitiveness, we talk about the logistics, we talk about the solar plex energy, which is where your power comes from. Your intuition is your superpower, because you're a powerful being. You're a spiritual being. The number 44 is reminding you that this is really about bringing more balance and harmony into everything you do. That 4 is about that balance. It's about your foundation. It's about your structure. The 4 is very much associated with the 4th month, which is where we're moving into April's energy. The 4 in astrology is the 4th house, very much associated with Cancer, which is a cardinal sign, very much associated with Aries. So there's a lot of magic that goes on. When we talk about that 8 energy, based on astrology, it's associated with your transformation. You are transforming. You are transforming just like a beautiful butterfly. Like, what do they say? The caterpillar that eventually becomes that beautiful butterfly. Trust. Work on your yellow energy so you can start trusting and tapping into your intuition. So there you have it, guys. Your statement with Aries energy is I am powerful. I'm going to give you 7 affirmations to go with each chakra. Ready for them? We did already the first one, which is the root energy. The root energy is all about your I am statement. So I am powerful. So think about that beautiful red energy. It's the expanding. And of course, you can come back and do this as a meditation. Right now, we're just going to run through it all. Your sacral chakra, an orange light, and the statement affirmation for your powerful energy there is, I create the power within me. I create the power within me. Yes. Moving up into your solar plexus, imagine that beautiful yellow light, just as the card. The affirmation is, I trust that I am powerful. I trust that I am powerful. Let's move it up into the heart. Seeing that beautiful green and pink energy, I open my heart to be powerful. I open my heart to be powerful. Moving up into your throat, that beautiful turquoise bluish energy. I express myself with power. I express myself with power. Moving into your third eye energy, see yourself as the powerful being that you are. See yourself as the powerful being that you are. I see myself as the powerful being I am. And last but not least, right into your crown energy, I know and believe. I know and believe. I know and believe I am powerful. There you go. And there you have it. Use those affirmations. Remember that when we talk about our chakra system, when we talk about affirmations, when you want to activate all 7 of your chakras, you need to use the correct affirmation for each. Most of the time, many of us are using the I am affirmation for every chakra, and in theory, you're only activating your root chakra. If you really want to activate all 7 chakras, you need to use the correct ones, and I've just shared 7 of them with you. So till we meet again, if you have questions or comments, you can just stroll to healingwithin76@gmail.com. Should you be watching from YouTube or Twitter. If you are watching from Facebook, just go ahead and hit message. Let me know that you have a comment or question. If you would like to get a Reiki session or a reading, let me know that too. All right, all that being said, have yourself an amazing, amazing evening, and enjoy Aries season. Enjoy this week. Enjoy the next 6 days where we have all this fiery energy in Aries. And then we're going to really start to see some action happening. And I promise you, I will be back to share with you the energy as we move, as Neptune moves into Aries, and what that's going to feel like for us. I thank you all so much for being with me tonight and sharing your energy with me. I appreciate you, and I know that you could be doing something else at exactly 10:23 p.m. Eastern Time. If we sit on here for another minute or so, we'd have the energy of my mom here, although she's always with me. For those of you who don't know the story of that, my mom's birthday is on October 24th, so anytime I see the time, 10:24, I know she's with me. She had crossed over, got her beautiful wings on March 12th, which just recently happened. So when I see that time, I know she's also with me. So feel free to use those numbers, because when you think about the number 1024, that works out to be a 7 energy. So it is about our agreements. And the number 312 is the 6 vibration, which is about how we are healing and serving through those agreements. I love how those numbers just make a beautiful sentence, don't you? All right, till we meet again, as it's 1024. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone.